family but not by DNA. Dave and Adam are two of a kind, and they wanna borrow some of your day to talk into your ear holes about midi-chlorians and roller coasters. Those two things are unrelated, but so are they. They're unrelated at birth, like most people who aren't related. Unrelated at birth, but they're brothers in a brotherly way. Now it's time for the phenomenal brother and the golden voice of the South. They're brothers from different mothers, but they're both really proud to be unrelated at birth. Brothers but not by birth, family but not by DNA. Dave and Adam are two of a kind, and they wanna borrow some of your day to talk into your ear holes about midi-chlorians and roller coasters. Those two things are unrelated, but so are they. They're unrelated at birth, like most people who aren't related. Unrelated at birth, but they're brothers in a brotherly way. Now it's time for the phenomenal brother and the golden voice of the South. They're brothers from different mothers, but they're both really proud to be unrelated at birth.
Look, you hit the button as I'm taking a sip of my bourbon, dude.
There's a timer that we all can see. You have no good reason to be drinking right in the middle of when I'm going live. I mean, it said 0.
It didn't say 0 when I picked up my glass.
I've said it about like 5, but I mean,
it was about 6. I thought I could.
3, 2, 1, 0. You take a sip that quickly. Come on,
try it. Try.
See, you still haven't even done it yet. So there's that. Hey, who's this? Who's this person down here?
This is my cousin, Mary Katherine Atnip.
Hello.
Better known as the favorite grandkid.
I get that a lot.
She's the only granddaughter on my mom's side. So my grandmother dotes on her. And all throughout high school, Meemaw took her to trips to Chicago and New York and never took me or Bill or Jonathan on a trip.
Ever?
So, ever. You were the only grandkid she took on a trip.
Well, I think you're still a little salty about that.
I am a little salty. Just a little salty. There you go. Carrie asked why I was on the left. I am fixed now, Carrie. I'm on the right side.
Is that really? Aren't you usually on the left?
No, I'm usually on the right. Anyway, we got it fixed.
Are y'all still going to do family stuff? Because I have a book to read if y'all are going to.
Yeah, no, we're done doing
family. Oh, you done? Oh, okay. Pretty good with that. Okay.
Well, anyway.
I have to say, it's actually kind of ironic. I'm the only, on my mom's side of the family, I'm the only grandson. So
you can relate.
I was the only grandson and an only child. So I got a double dose of goodness.
Meemaw is on listening. And she says, she claims that she took me on a baseball trip. Meemaw, that trip was with my parents, and so it wasn't just.
I was accompanied with my parent when I went to Chicago.
Wait, I have a better idea, Dave.
What?
So how did that make you feel? The doctor is in. It's like a Christmas, Charlie Brown Christmas, a sweet jingle of nickels, cold hard cash.
Well, anyway, so yes, Mary Katherine is the favorite grandkid, but the reason she is here is she was a Radio City Rockette for 4 years, Mary?
4 years.
Mary. Yeah. Okay. 3 years in New York. And yeah, we're good now. Mm-hmm. You're good. Okay. 3 years in New York and 1 year in Nashville, right?
Yep. 13 years ago.
Are you kidding?
I can't believe it's already been 13 years. Well, 13 years since I started. But yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I know. They just re-showed the 2007 Christmas Spectacular, which was my first year. Yeah. And it was filmed in 2007.
Wow.
Okay. Either I'm old. Yeah, no, there's no or I'm old. So.
Yeah.
So. Wow. Okay.
I know.
Well, how could it have been 13 years ago? That was just like 2 weeks ago.
I know. Well, I was 18 when I auditioned, and in the middle of that first season, I had my birthday, so I was 19, just barely 19 by like a week when shows started.
Good grief.
Mm-hmm.
So before, I'm not going to get much into this.
Let's not do the interview now, man. Come on.
Yeah, no, we got to stop. This was just the intro.
The teaser.
Yeah, this is just the teaser. So everybody.
Can I address something really quickly?
Okay.
Just real fast.
Okay.
Hang on.
I'm a little worried what he's about to address.
Yeah.
Can you see this?
Yes.
Last week. What do you notice about this?
I was okay. Fine. I was on the left.
It's just bothering me, so I'm going to drag you back over there. There we go.
What if we did this?
I can't do that. It has to be in the right order. No offense. Mary.
Not taken.
Bobo. No. So you might, during the interview, hear me call her Bobo. Backstory on this. My entire life, I've called her Marebo. I don't know why. I did.
Well, I think your mom started that. That was something your mom started. So.
Oh, really? Okay.
And she still calls me Marebo.
Okay. And so Ellie, I guess when she was really young, picked up on that and just started calling you Bobo. And that's your name.
6 years later, I'm still Bobo.
You are Bobo and your mom is BB. So it gets a little,
Just as long as there's not a baba somewhere in here, I think we'll be
No.
No. All right. Bill is saying something here. If y'all remember, I was given the most Turkish lira over what? No, Bill, you're not the favorite grandkid. Bill is Mary's little brother.
Oh, okay.
So, and also we have to give a shout out. Mary Katherine is wearing a State of Fair boutique original.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm not. I'm wearing Nike.
Yeah, I'm wearing Columbia. What are you wearing, Dave?
What are you wearing tonight? I'm wearing a Pappy Van Winkle hat. Does that count? No.
Yeah.
No. Okay. All right. So I guess we are going to go in and start recording.
Well, I have something for you first, man. This is the pre-show, and one thing we always ask in the pre-show is what?
What are we
What's
drinking?
in your glass? So go ahead and share. And I have a choice for you to make.
Okay. I am drinking, it's called Old Tub bourbon. It's actually really good.
Does not sound delicious, by the way.
It's good.
I thought you said Old Toe.
No, Old Tub.
I'm not sure which is worse.
Tomato. I mean,
Either or.
You have anything in an old tub? Sure we do.
No.
So one of our vendors at work sent a nice little Christmas thank you under the value of which I would have to claim it through the company. Don't worry. And so it's from Koval, which is the oldest family-owned distillery in Chicago. And it is 3 bottles of bourbon or whiskey, depending on what it is. There is a single barrel bourbon whiskey.
Ooh.
There is a 4-grain single barrel whiskey.
Ooh.
And there is a single barrel rye.
Drink
one of these three is coming to you with what else I have for you for Christmas. So which one do you choose? The other two are probably going to go in like a pecan pie or Something like that.
I will take the first option, please, sir.
You will take the single barrel bourbon whiskey.
I will take the single barrel bourbon whiskey.
I will set that one aside for you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Much obliged.
Hey, thank you to Peerless AV out of Chicago.
Peerless AV.
A little plug for them.
Well,
they do a lot of our outdoor digital displays and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Mary, if you don't know, Adam works for Disney.
Ah,
so, I do.
Very nice.
Yes.
I was supposed to go for the very first time ever this summer, but COVID.
Things happen. Yeah. The Rona.
I've gone twice since the Rona.
Well, I don't want my first experience to be a COVID experience. If I'm going to go, I want the real deal.
I understand 100%. I'll help you. I'll help you plan that other trip.
There are some that would argue, other than the mask thing, there are some that would argue the limited capacity is actually a superior experience.
It is.
But being someone who's in entertainment, I would imagine that entertainment's very important to you. And therefore it's lacking a little bit in that regard too. So it's a balance,
She actually used to know somebody that used to do the Lion King.
Okay.
Leanne Irvin.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, I know. In fact, a lot of other Rockettes have done Disney. I know lots in the Beauty and the Beast show and that have worked there on and off. So.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Oh, another thing. Carrie says they have let me stop putting bourbon in food. They say I'm too heavy-handed with my bourbon that I put in food.
No way.
I know, right? And then,
so
Adam, your mom asked, "Where are you drinking?"
Peppermint mocha, which, by the way, they make now in bottled form from Starbucks, and it has changed my life during a pandemic to be able to have one whenever I want it, and my customary green cup of water. Nothing too exciting.
There you go.
I didn't get the fancy drink memo. Not water.
You're a dancer, okay? So I guess that's just all water for you, right? You've got a cool Turbis tumbler.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. So Dave, what you're saying from Carrie's comment is when you make a bourbon pecan pie, you make a pecan pie and then you have bourbon with it.
Yes.
Basically, okay.
Very much so. Well, the funny story, and we'll record after this, but the funny story, so we did Friendsgiving and ordered a lot of food from Cracker Barrel. And they brought it to me to put the turkey on the smoker to heat up. And they all said, "Here you go. We're going to eat in 3 hours. Do not put bourbon in this to taste."
The taste. Yeah, because your taste is a little bit different when it comes to bourbon.
It's a little different than most people.
Yeah.
So, okay. All right. So now we're going to record. All right. You ready, Adam?
Ready. Let's do it.
All right, Mary, I'll bring you in here in just a second, okay?
Okay.
All right. We're going to do this in 3, 2, 1. And welcome everybody back into another Unrelated at Birth. As always, you've got the one, the only, the golden voice of the South, the human jukebox, Dave Adams, coming to you live and in living color from the top of the state of Alabama in Madison, Alabama, in the Unrelated at Birth podcast studio. And you think I've said that enough because it's kind of a rote memorization thing now, Adam.
It's episode 71, right?
Yeah, it's 71. But this is not the 71st episode we've done in the podcast studio.
No, it's probably closer to 75 that we've actually done, right?
Right, but not we did a lot when I was at my old house and before I made the studio.
Yeah, are we counting sideline warning in that?
No.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, as always, I brought along my friend, the one, the only, the phenomenal brother, Adam Russell. There you go. Talk now.
There you go. Talk now. That part, we haven't got down to rote memorization yet. It's just talk now.
We change yours all the time.
No, well, you change it all the time. It's your job to bring me in. So
I used to do like the whole geography map thing for sideline warning.
We should do that as a throwback.
I might bring it back. We'll see.
Sure.
We got a whole new year coming up. We got, I guess, 2 more episodes this year.
Yeah.
And then we'll start over from there. We'll try something new.
I love it.
So, all right. So we have a third person on our live feed, as those that are watching on Facebook Live can see. And it's my cousin, Mary Katherine Atnip. Hi, Mary.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on. For those that don't know, we have her on not just because she's my cousin. It's because she is a former New York City, Radio City Rockette. Is it just Radio City or is it New York Radio City?
Just Radio City.
Okay. So first off, was there a Rockettes before Radio City Music Hall?
Yes, actually there was.
Okay, so what was it? What was it before then?
Well, they were just called the Rockettes, and it actually started in St. Louis, Missouri. Oh. And his name was Russell Mark. Oh, I'm gonna mispronounce his last name, but Russell Market, and I want to say 1933. And when I joined the Rockettes, that was the 75th anniversary of the Rockettes at Radio City.
That is so okay. So it happened.
I think.
So before they moved to Radio City, they really didn't count the years.
Correct. Yes, they were just the Rockettes. It was not actually the Radio City Christmas Spectacular. And I believe next year, if I'm doing my math, or just in a few years, they're actually coming up on the 100th year. So I'm hoping to be able to go back and be part of that celebration too. I'm looking forward to it.
Would they bring you back for that?
No, not to dance, but every milestone year, all alumni come back and they have a big to-do and a party and a show for the alumni. I'm still part of an alumni association and stay in touch with Rockettes that I danced with and then Rockettes from many years past. So it's kind of neat to stay in communication with Rockettes who are now in their 90s.
Good grief.
Yes.
Wow. So theoretically, they could have danced in the original Rockette Spectacular, Radio City Spectacular. Oh, no. Okay. They would have been. Okay. Yeah.
That'd be cutting it kind of close.
Yeah, it would be. It would be. Well, so let's go back. We kind of jumped the gun there a little bit, talking about everything. What got you interested in being a Rockette, and how did the whole process start for you?
Probably the Macy's Day Parade would have been the first time that I ever saw the Rockettes, and I don't have any memories of not ever waking up on Thanksgiving and rushing down to watch the parade and watching the Rockettes. So that was my first exposure to them. And then when I was, I want to say 12, I went to New York for the first time with Meemaw, our grandmother. And that's when I got to see the Rockettes in person for the first time. And then
that's on one of those trips where Meemaw took her and not the other grandkids. Just throwing that out there.
So if Meemaw would have taken Dave on a trip, he would have ended up being a dancer. That's what we're trying to say right now.
No, that is not what we're trying to say. Oh. Maybe Broadway, but not a dancer.
So after I saw them in person, I'm sure that sealed the deal for me. And I just knew that's what I wanted to do. That's what I was going to make my goal, and I was going to go for it. So you had to be 18 years old before you could audition. But they started a program. They called it the Radio City Rockette Summer Intensive Program. And it was for aspiring dancers anywhere, all across the country. I don't know if there was a minimum age. I'm going to guess maybe 15 or so. But 15 to anywhere, probably early 20s. It was a summer program in New York at Radio City, where you had to audition to be part of that intensive. And so when I was 17, I went and participated in that program for the first time. And I got to train from Rockettes. I think I even trained under one of the current dance captains. I learned the real routines, and we got to perform them in a Broadway theater. So that was neat. Yeah. And then
you remember which theater?
Oh, I'm sure I have it written down somewhere. I have this big old Rockette scrapbook tub of all programs, and you name it, I have it. And then as soon as I was 18, I went to my first audition in New York, and there were roughly 500, 600 women that came to this audition.
Wow.
And yeah, it was a 2-day process, and they just went cut by cut, cut people, sent people home. And I never really expected to make it past the first day. I didn't go up there with any expectations, I guess I should say. So when I made it past the first day, I thought, okay, well, here I am. Let's go for day 2. And made it through the end of day 2. I think maybe by the end of the audition process, there were maybe 20 of us left. And they took our measurements. Measured us for costumes, did everything short of like drawing blood. And they just said, all right, we'll call you. And that was in April. And then I found out at the end of July that I had booked the job and moved to New York at the very end of September, I think.
Wow. So were they cutting people every day? Did it get smaller every day?
Yes. So what they would do is, the line, if you can imagine, 500 people wrapped around several blocks. And I got there, I don't know what time, but really bright and early, probably got in line at like 6 a.m. And I was actually in the first group of people that they brought in. So they brought you in maybe groups of 50 at a time, and they would immediately cut you or keep you right there.
Wow.
So they probably went through several rounds of like a first cut. And then it was probably by like 3 o'clock that afternoon that I even went back in to dance again after they made it through that first round of cuts.
So did you have to stay like within a couple of miles or a block of wherever they were performing or trying out?
Once you made it through, they had kind of like a holding room. But I do remember them saying, all right, you can go grab lunch or something, but we need you back at this time. And I was auditioning with some girls that I had danced with the previous summer at the intensive. So we kind of went through that audition together. So I remember leaving Radio City, going to get lunch with them, and then coming back and keep going through the different rounds of cuts.
Did they make it, or were you the only one in that group that made it?
I was the only one that made it that year.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Not to brag or anything,
Yeah.
So we've got a question, and my computer just went blank. I hope y'all can still see me. But we got a question from somebody in the group. What did they make you dance while you're doing your auditions?
So the first round was what they would call jazz, or basically just their precision style. And that basically shows you how strong you are in all your technique. They really look at your ballet training. That shows through, even though it's a jazz style, they can tell immediately how well you're trained in ballet. So that was the first round. And then the second round was tap. And then I can't remember if we kicked on the first day or not. I want to say that we might not have even kicked on day 1. That might have even been day 2. Day 2, they added on to the jazz and the tap that we learned the previous day. And then we kicked at the very end of the day.
Wow.
I'm trying to remember the spectacular. I don't know if I remember any ballet in the spectacular at all.
No, there's not. It's all that famous precision jazz. But any and every Rockette will also be proficient in ballet and be trained in ballet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So were you? Did they give you something to prepare for, or were you doing just something that you kind of like, at a cooking show and they say do your specialty dish? Were you doing like your specialty dance? Or?
No, they taught you a combination right there on the spot.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I went into it kind of blind.
Okay. Let's Mary Catherine's being very, 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 very nice here. She was also Miss Dance Alabama going up to this audition, so she knows her stuff. So
oh, sure. Well,
yeah.
Humble is
denying,
the word.
No, I'm not denying the fact that I was obviously prepared and capable. But so my first year, so I found out that I made it in July. That's when they told me. And then I had to quickly scramble to find some place to live in such short notice. And so my first year, we had family friends who had a second, maybe even third cousin who lived in New York. Yeah. And so they quickly reached out to her, and I went up there, met her, and basically she converted a corner of her living room into a bedroom for me. And my first year, I had this tiny little corner of a New York apartment, and that's where I lived with this woman who was so nice to open up her home to me. But I mean, a perfect stranger. I didn't know her before I lived with her.
I was trying to think, do I know who that is, or is it?
No, it's through Rex Vaughn.
Okay.
But a distant cousin.
Wait, are we related to Rex?
Are we? No.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
A distant cousin of Rex's.
Okay. Carry on. That would make that my mom dated him in high school very odd. Okay, so back to your story. Sorry.
Yes. So I was already enrolled at Bama. That was my plan, to go to school. I had my dorm assignment, my class assignment, everything. So I had to defer enrollment there because this all happened so quickly. And then moved to New York in September. We started rehearsals probably that last week of September, if I had to guess. And we rehearsed for probably 6 weeks. We rehearsed off-site. It was at a church in the middle, or right off of Columbus Circle.
Ooh, cool.
Down in their basement. They had this huge open area. And that's actually where we would rehearse. And we rehearsed there maybe 5 weeks. We learned the entire show. My schedule was Monday through Saturday, 9 to 5. So like a regular 9 to 5 job. And we would have 1 day a week off. So I had Sundays off. And then once we learned the entire show, then we moved into the theater, and we had about a week and a half of tech. And then shows would open like the second week of November and run through New Year's.
So how many shows on average would you do in a year, you think?
It was about 110.
Wow.
And
it was every other show? I seem to remember, was it blue and green or?
Blue and gold. So in New York, there are 2 different cast of Rockettes because there's so many shows. Not one single set of Rockettes could do that many shows. And so I was always blue, which was the morning cast, and there was the evening cast. So like my schedule would be Mondays and Wednesdays, I would do an 11 o'clock show and a 1 p.m. show. And then on the weekends, we would do 3 shows. And then on the other cast off day, then you would do all 4 shows that day.
Good grief.
So you'd either have a weekday 2 shows, a weekend 3 shows, and then on their off day, you had to do all 4 shows.
And how long was it?
A show was 90 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, I'll tell you, I went and saw it one year, and it was intense. I mean, you can tell. I don't know if you've ever watched a Rockette show. If you haven't, why not? But you can tell that they were in sync the entire time, and it feels like they practiced all year. Knowing what Mary Catherine's telling us, they didn't. But it's impressive to know that they do, like she just said, 110 shows, and they can be that precise every time, every second of the show.
Well, in a day you're doing 4 shows, that's 6 hours that day that you're dancing.
Yeah.
And to hold it throughout that's impressive. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So talk to us about a normal day in the life, because I know, I mean, I'm sure you're just the muscle memory. It kills your muscles, and then it, just everything.
Yeah, so being in the morning cast, they let me request, do you think you would prefer morning or evening? And I chose morning my first year, not really knowing what to expect, but I'm so thankful that I got in the morning cast because I would wake up, basically go straight to the theater. I would like to get there about an hour and a half before the show. And then when the shows were over, I still felt like I had a little bit of a day.
You had energy to do?
Well, depending on the day. If it was a 2-show day, you still had some energy. So I was so lucky to have so many different people come up to New York. I felt like I had someone there all the time coming to see the show. So a lot of times after shows, I would go out to dinner, go out lunch, visit with whoever came, or go out to dinner with the other girls in my cast, or just go straight home and crash. Because, I still had to go grocery shopping. I had to do my laundry. I mean, there was all of that stuff too. And, if it was like a 4-show day, I would be there from probably 9:30 in the morning till about 10:30 at night, if I had to guess.
Good grief.
Wow.
But that was once a week.
Sure.
But still, that's a horrible day of the week.
So how was just generally, because we're going to get into a little bit about all our experiences in New York, visiting and Christmas there and all that, but how was living in New York?
I mean, I loved it.
Okay.
Every year I lived someplace different. So that was fun. So I got to kind of explore the city differently every year. My first year I lived let's see, what was my address? Like 47th and 3rd, I want to say. So kind of like Midtown on the east side. I lived really close to Grand Central Station. That's where I did my commute that year, was through Grand Central. Then my second year, which this was my favorite place that I lived on the Upper West Side, right on Central Park.
That's what I remember, because that's the year I came up to see you.
Yes. That was hands down my favorite just location, just because I liked the Upper West Side. It was not touristy. I hated by the end of it, Midtown, Times Square. And I was like one of those angry New Yorkers, like, what are all these tourist people doing here in my way? So that year I got to live up and away from that, and it was quiet. Central Park was beautiful. The commute was easy. I mean, my subway stop was like a half a block away, and I had a direct shot into Radio City. So it was an easy commute. I love that place. My third year, I lived 42nd Street and 11th, I want to say. So on the Midtown West, I lived basically one block off of the Hudson River.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is really pretty and really nice. I know on my off days, I would go walk up and down the harbor, and the views were really pretty. And that was a little more out of the way too. It wasn't quite so touristy. But that was a little bit of a difficult commute to get around the city. I wasn't at the most convenient location. I had to walk a few blocks to get to a subway. Then I'd have to jump from that subway. I had to connect someplace else. So in terms of location, that year was rough, but I liked, once I was in my apartment and at that place, I really liked the area.
So 42nd Street, that's Herald Square, right? That's what?
No, Herald Square would be about 35th.
Oh.
Ish.
All the folks at
It's
40s.
Miracle on 34th Street.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah, other way, yeah.
Tell all the folks at 42nd Street that I will soon be there.
42nd Street
Broadway
is in the musical. 42nd Street.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's what you're thinking of.
Let's give my regards to Broadway. I don't know why I was thinking that. So, which I was still I had a small little bet with Meemaw that you were going to be, that you would quit Rockette and do Broadway when you get up, while you were up at New York. Just because, I mean, you sing, you dance, you acted in Broadway in Gunnersville for a while. So I thought that you were going to try out for some Broadway stuff while you're up there.
Yeah, that's the one regret that I have, that I never went that avenue or tried. I
mean, you were part of SAG, so I thought, why not, right? Not SAG, whatever the Actors Guild
Broadway,
is up there.
Broadway is Actors Equity.
Okay.
I was AGVA and AFTRA. So it was, it's a different union. It's a different union. AGVA is Actors Guild of Variety Artists.
And sounds about the same to me.
AFTRA is television artists. So anytime you did a TV gig, that was the union you were paid through.
Okay. So speaking of TV gig, I know you did a couple of them as a Rockette. You never did Macy's, right?
I never did Macy's.
Okay. So I know you were on Cake Boss.
I was on Cake Boss, yes.
Really?
Tell me about picture right there with Duff standing side by side. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Tell us about that, and then tell us about some of the other TV gigs or promotion gigs that you got to do with the Rockettes.
So the very first thing that we do as a Rockette before we even go into rehearsals is we would have media training. It was a full day's worth of training and scenarios and interview techniques and how to bridge your interview, talking points. So they really prepared us for any and all PR events that we would do. So I did Cake Boss. That was my first year. He made, like I said, my very first year was the 75th anniversary of the Christmas Spectacular. So they pulled out all the stops that year. And that episode, he had made a cake for opening night, and they had brought it to Radio City and were presenting it to us. So the filming process was probably a total of 30 minutes. We went in, met him, talked for a little bit. So that was quick. I mean, that was fun. I was already a huge Cake Boss fan, and I knew who Duff was. So I was really excited to do that. I was also on the Rachel Ray show.
Ooh.
Yes, but side note, she was not all that friendly.
Really?
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, not
I can see that.
Not the most friendly.
Yeah.
I danced on the Today Show. And that was really fun because that was a live broadcast. Everything else, mostly that, at least that I can recall, was a pre-recorded something ahead of time. But the Today Show is a live broadcast. So that was really fun. Adrenaline, you talk about adrenaline pumping. And, we had to be there on the plaza at 6 a.m, maybe. So that means I probably got to Radio City at 5 a.m.
Ugh.
Because you had to do, hair and makeup, be ready to then go down. Let's see, what else did I do?
Did they bus you down, or did you have
we literally just walked across the street.
I was going to say, it's not that far of a walk.
It's 1 block. So we walked out Radio City, across the street, and straight into to their building, Today Show. What else did I do? I did tons of local appearances, local stations and things like that up there. They have this organization. So Radio City is tied with Madison Square Gardens. It's all kind of under the same umbrella. And they had this organization called the Garden of Dreams, which is a charitable organization. So I remember one of my favorite PR events was going to underprivileged areas in the city and delivering Christmas toys. That was one of the my favorite things that I did.
That's cool.
I did another event. It's for the Lust Garden organization. It's a cancer organization. We did a performance at the B.B. King House of Blues in New York. And that was really fun. That was great. Big charitable event. That was fun. I did at Madison Square Gardens appearance at a hockey game.
Which one? Was it the Islanders or the Rangers?
The Rangers.
Okay.
Did they at least put something down on the ice?
You know what? I don't even think we went down on the ice. I'm trying to remember. I want to say they were giving away tickets to the show to some lucky fans in the stadium. And we actually went into this, where those fans were sitting up in the arena, if I recall,
that's cool.
And did it that way. So I don't think we went down onto the ice.
Okay.
That would have been, interesting. Oh gosh, I'm sure there's lots that I'm forgetting.
So with experiences like that, I mean, it sounds like you got a ton of cool things. I mean, in New York too, right? I mean, there's something happening every day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What was your favorite perk outside of experiences? Were there any perks that you got or anything like that came with the job?
A perk. I don't know actually that there are many perks of the jobs when it came to just living in the city. Outside of Radio City, was outside of that bubble. Yeah. It was funny because I used to say, people say, "Oh, you're a famous Rockette," and I say, "Yeah, only when I'm in Radio City and when I'm in my costume." And then I walk out that door and
you got to scratch a living like the rest of them. Yeah.
I'm just a normal person walk into my apartment.
But then you come back to Huntsville and you are Mary Katherine Atnip, or at the time, Mary Katherine Smart, the Radio City Rockette. And in Huntsville, you were, pardon my French, a god. You go back to North Alabama Dance Center and all these girls just circle around you.
Well, see, that's the fun part, though, about being a Rockette. I mean, I would never, ever, ever want to be a celebrity, where everywhere you went, people they knew you, taking pictures. Because, it was fun to be all dressed up and in costume and signing autographs and meeting people. But I liked walking out of and just being a normal person too. And coming back home, you say a celebrity, but only to the people that knew you. It's not like I came home and walking down the street signing autographs anywhere.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Meemaw corrected you, by the way. Free college tuition. She forgot the N. But
they not free. They did have a scholarship program. They called it what is it called? It was called Future Kicks, where if you went to college to pursue a degree outside of dancing or completely non-related to Rockettes, they it was like a scholarship program, kind of would reimburse you for tuition.
That's cool. I will say it was really cool getting to walk, for me, getting to have that. I don't know. I felt special getting to walk backstage at Radio City. And this was my favorite part of it, getting to meet the camel.
Nice.
And that's pre-Beard Dave, by the way.
Yes.
So.
Was that show on a Wednesday?
Why?
Hope Day.
Oh, okay. Talk to me about, so I'm looking at my pictures from the New York trip, and the crystal dance or Swarovski crystal dance.
Yes.
Shine. Talk to me about how it came about that you got to be the center of that dance. And I know for our family, it was all, oh, Mary Katherine's the center. Oh my gosh, we got, she's the middle of everything. Talk to me about how that came about, how your positioning came about there.
Well, okay, so when the Rockettes stand in a line, it is arranged the shortest, or we would say the least tall, to the tallest. And to be a Rockette, you have to be between the height of 5'6" and 5'10" and a half. Well, I was 5'10", or 5'10" and a half. I don't know. I'm either 5'10". I'm 5'10". And so that I was always the tallest. So when you are standing in line, that's how I was always in the center. And then in terms of every single formation, traffic pattern, anything that we do on the stage, it's already pre-choreographed on a notebook. So like the first day of rehearsals, we walk in and we line up according to height, and they make a few adjustments here or there. So basically determined on your height and where you fall in that lineup, they will give you a letter of the alphabet, and then she goes and looks at her chart, and every formation is already charted by letter.
Oh, okay.
So it's all very mathematical, and every single, like I said, because if you watch the dance, we don't start in a straight line. We start in different formations all over, and every formation, every traffic pattern eventually ends up in that straight line. So basically, when that choreographer sets that dance, she's working backwards, setting every formation based off of how are you going to end up in that final kick line according to your letter.
Okay. So it just happened to be that you were the tallest, and
I was the tallest and in that specific track.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So in the middle of this, we got three. Since we're talking about this, we got to talk. Doc, Philip Risby asked, favorite costume the entire time being a Rockette?
That number we were just talking about, the shine and the Swarovski crystals.
Okay.
Easy.
Okay. Carrie Loney said, what's the coolest celebrity you got to meet because of being a Rockette?
She already said Rachel Ray.
Yeah. Coolest celebrity? Oh, I wish I had written them all down. How about, okay, well, here's a picture for you, Dave. I'm surprised you've never even commented on this, or maybe you haven't looked closely enough.
Well, I don't. Wait, what? I can't see. Get closer.
You can't see? It's on Facebook.
Well, I'm going to have to look. What year is it?
It's what I just posted it.
Okay.
Like last week when the show aired. It's just a picture of me and Lin-Manuel.
Lin-Manuel Miranda?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
And then I'm standing right next to George Washington.
Wow.
Okay, that's when they were in the Heights.
Yes, that's in the Heights.
Okay, I'm officially jealous, Ray Catherine. I mean, I've always been jealous, but I'm officially jealous.
Yeah, but that was before he was big.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So, then that brings up more questions. Did you get to go backstage at other Broadway shows because you were a Rockette?
Not because I was a Rockette. So in the Heights, one of the Rockettes was, while we were in rehearsals, she was performing in the Heights in the evenings. So
did she have any free time?
Yeah, no. And so we went to her show to see it one evening, and she took us backstage. So that's how
you met Christopher Jackson, Lin-Manuel Miranda. Okay, I'm even more jealous than I was before.
Any Hamilton connection, you got Dave. Any Hamilton connection.
Yeah, I had to pull that out.
Yep.
I'm not happy with you, Bobo.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I should have thought about. I should have better mentally prepared. I'm trying to think of all the different celebrities. I met Richard Gere. I met Michael Douglas and Catherine Zeta-Jones. Oh, this was funny because way back then I was 20, totally fangirling. Do you remember this series Twilight?
Yeah.
the vampire book. Well, one of the vampires, I can't even tell you his name. Anyways, I was at some local TV studio in New York shooting something or another, and he must have been in the spot right before us, and we were all in the holding room together. And I just remember trying to keep my composure and being like, "Oh my gosh, that's so and so."
I just pulled up the picture that you were talking about. You're right next to Christopher Jackson. That's freaking awesome. Okay, sorry.
Get it out of your system, man. Go ahead.
Okay,
there you go.
I'm good now. I'm good. All right. So, besides Rockettes, besides everything, I mean, you can't really say besides, because that's one of the coolest things. I will honestly say, Mary, I was super proud of you when that 75th anniversary thing first aired. I'm not going to lie, I teared up a bit because I mean, that was a couple of years. I mean, yeah, it was 7 years after Papa died. And I can just remember how proud I felt of you, that you were on national TV, that you were living your dream and doing something really cool like that. So I as your oldest cousin, I will say that I was super proud of you, doing that and spending the time up there. So my next question, don't think I'm belittling any of that, but taking the Rockettes out of it, what was it like living in New York at Christmas time? I mean, that's when you think of New York, we think how cool, we think of Christmas time and New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
So talk to me about how it is, the holidays in New York.
I mean, I think magical is the first word that comes to mind.
Oh, that's a Disney word. Come on now.
Crowded is another word that comes to mind.
That's another Disney word.
Cold. That's not a Disney word.
No, it's not.
Very cold. I remember walking to work one day in like 5 inches of snow. Totally unprepared for that.
Out of that.
Not going to happen.
No, I mean, it would never get old, even after my 3rd year, at the end of the year, walking home and seeing the lights and the window displays. I mean, it never got old. And I mean, every Christmas time I get nostalgic about it and I miss it, and would give anything to just be back there.
So that brings us to another question. My buddy Brian asked, why did you stop being a Rockette?
So my last year, we haven't even talked about this. My last year I was in Nashville. Mm-hmm. I requested to go to Nashville because I had done New York 3 years. It was the exact same show for 3 years. I did basically the exact same track for 3 years. And I was like, I kind of want to do something different next year. And Nashville was practically home. And everyone could come up and see the Nashville show. But then in between my last year in New York and then my year in Nashville, I got engaged. And also, I think the biggest reason that I stopped was if I ever wanted to finish my college degree, I had to take a fall semester of school. I had gone as far as I could go, but then there were classes that I could only take in the fall. So like I said, I started Rockettes at the time that it would have been my first semester of college. Yeah. So my routine for 4 years was dance through New Year's and then come home, and I would do a spring semester of school and a summer semester of school, and then go back to New York in the fall. And that was my routine. I did that for 4 years. But then, I did all that work, and then it came to a point, it was like, if I ever want to graduate, I have to take that fall semester. So we got married. I did that fall semester of school. I got involved more heavily teaching at the dance studio, and just never went back to do it again. And do I regret not ever going back? Yes and no. I mean, I'll miss doing it till the day I die. But at that point too, I was beyond thrilled to have a Christmas at home, to be home for the holidays. I mean, I missed all my Thanksgivings too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
of course, I didn't want to spend my first married holidays not at home. So that's why I quit.
Okay. Well, since we talk about the Nashville year, what was different about Nashville? How cool was it being on the hallowed stage at the Grand Ole Opry House? You know, what was different?
So Nashville, it was a completely different experience. There in New York, there's 36 women. In Nashville, there's only 18. That being because, you know, Radio City is the largest stage. I mean, I don't quote me on it, but probably the largest stage venue in the U.S. So you can't find a stage that large anywhere else that's going to support that kind of a production. So it's on a much smaller scale. So there's only 18 women. And in New York, everyone lives separately and independently. Most of the women live in New York year-round. That's their permanent home. So if you did any of the outside cities, you all lived together in a hotel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that was a really fun experience. Basically, the entire cast and crew took over this hotel. We all lived together.
Oh, so it wasn't at the Gaylord?
No, we did not stay at the Opryland.
Oh,
hotel.
man.
Yeah, that would have been fun. No, this was I forget the name of it, but it was more of like a extended stay suites type place. So, you know, I had my own kitchenette, a living room, and a bedroom. And dancing at Opryland, that was really neat. Or Grand Ole Opry, that was really cool. But yeah, it would never compare to Radio City. Radio City seats 6,000 people.
Dear Lord. And sold out most nights, right?
I mean, a lot of the shows are sold out, not completely. Especially those like Saturday morning 9 a.m. shows, those were not sold out.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, dancing to a sold out theater of 6,000 people, I mean, that just doesn't compare.
No.
And we still had a tough schedule in Nashville. I believe I still had 4 shows on the weekend. But it was not quite as grueling of a schedule as it was in New York. I got to meet some fun celebrities in Nashville too. I have this picture of the cast with Kimberly Williams Paisley.
Oh, cool.
And Scott Hamilton and Sheryl Crow. Kind of an odd mix there.
Okay.
So I had that, and but it was fun to have that different experience of like living with the cast, and you have like 4 girls to a car, and so you kind of build closer relationships that way too, and you got to do a lot of fun things together. So it was fun in a different way.
Yeah.
And the fact that I had people from home at almost every single show, it felt like. So it was really neat knowing how many students I had in the audience, just extended family, friends of friends. So that was really fun to have people constantly visiting.
Yeah. So talk to us about what you're doing now because of Rockettes. I mean, I know, but everyone else doesn't. But talk to us about, you know, North Alabama and everything that's going on, how you're helping teach everybody that you're teaching now because of your Rockette background.
Yeah, so I am the associate director at North Alabama Dance Center, which is a studio that my mother owns. She is the director. This is this is the great debate in our family. How many years have we had the dance studio?
1984 was the first year.
The first year. So let's do our math. What, our 37th?
Come on, Adam. You're the math guy.
This will be 2020. I mean, 2021.
What's the year where? What?
84 was the first year.
36.
Was the first recital.
36 years.
Okay.
So this will be our 36th. Oh, yeah.
No, this will be the 37th because the recital will be in 2021. Right?
The recital will be in 2021.
Okay. So that would be
37.
37, yeah.
Did you have a 2020 recital though?
Yes.
We did.
Okay, good. So yeah, 37.
Okay.
Yeah. We
Good.
almost
Ramona
didn't
didn't
have a
derail that,
2020 recital. COVID
Yeah.
almost
Oh.
ruined that. But yes,
Your
we
dad-
did
your-
have our recital.
Your dad's coming in hot. Your dad says 85 was the first recital. Okay.
Yeah. All of our says serving excellence since 1984. So I guess 84 was the year that the doors opened.
That's
If we're going
true.
to clarify.
There you go.
Okay, fine. So, are there any students that have gone up and tried out for Rockettes, tried to follow in your shoes, or talk to us about some of the students that you've helped because of your Rockette opportunity?
Yeah, so we've had maybe 2 or 3 who have tried out. We have one dancer, she just graduated, but Peyton Smith is on the short list to be a Rockette. She was going to audition this past year for her first time, but 2020. So that kind of got derailed a little bit, but she's on their short list.
That's cool.
So, and I've trained other girls who are not even associated with the dance studio who have reached out to me and said, I want to audition. Can we set up some private lessons? Can you help me? So I've done that with dancers across the area from time to time. But it was funny because the group of dancers that we have now, I mean, it's been long enough. I've been out of Rockettes long enough that the young dancers at the studio don't necessarily even know that, or haven't seen the show, or don't really know about my time with the Rockettes. So when the show re-aired, what was it, 2 weeks ago maybe, when the show re-aired, that was most of the girls at the studio's first time to even see the show. So that was kind of a fun experience hearing back from them. Oh, Miss Mary, I saw you. We found you in the show. And it used to be on Netflix. I don't know why they pulled it off Netflix, but the entire show is still on YouTube. It's like an official sponsored video.
Wait, you mean I didn't have to buy it on iTunes?
You did not have to buy it on iTunes.
Dadgummit, I bought it.
Why did you buy it on iTunes?
Because it got pulled off Netflix and Ellie had to watch it every year.
Well, see,
it's for a good cause.
I probably got 7 cents for your purchase.
You did, and I'm glad I put 7 cents in your pocket. Good grief. All right.
So you mentioned earlier. I don't want to get away from if you have any more questions about the Rockette stuff, Dave.
No,
feel free to stop me. But you mentioned earlier walking through New York and the lights and snow and that kind of stuff. So I've done New York in the snow around Christmas. Dave, I think you've been there around Christmas. What was some of your favorite stuff around that time? Because we're heading into that, or in the middle of that time of year now, I guess, with only 10 days to go.
Yes. Well, I would always go down Fifth Avenue and just stare at all the windows and the displays. I mean, I loved going to see the windows. That was one of my favorite things to do. In terms of going out and doing Christmassy things in New York, honestly, I wouldn't have done that many because every single day I was working, and on that one day off, it was pretty much catch up on some sleep or try to go see as many Broadway shows as I could. I have a long list of shows that I saw while I was there.
Yeah.
Give me top 5.
Top 5. Well, I saw Les Mis standing room only. So I had to stand for that entire 3.5 hours to watch that show.
Who was your Valjean?
Oh gosh, I don't remember. That was my first year. That was that was a long time ago.
It wasn't Alfie. That's the only thing.
Lion King will probably always be one of my favorites to see in person.
Yeah.
Can't beat that. Now this is not a musical, but one of my favorite shows that I saw when I was there was Arthur Miller's All My Sons. And it was played by John Lithgow was the lead in it.
Oh, cool.
That's cool.
Yes. And Katie Holmes was in it. She was okay.
Wow.
Yeah, and Diane Weiss. I don't know if you can think who she is. It had like A-list cast. And that was one of my favorite shows that I saw there. What else? I mean, just off the top of my head, some of the shows that I saw, I saw Young Frankenstein. I saw Spam-A-Lot. I saw Little Mermaid. I saw Shrek. I saw Thoroughly Modern Millie. I saw The Drowsy Chaperone. I saw Wicked maybe 3 times.
Well, that's not enough for me.
Oh gosh, I'm not even thinking of all of them.
Did you see Phantom?
Yes, I've seen Phantom probably twice.
Okay.
I saw Legally Blonde. I saw West Side Story, the revival.
Oh, lucky.
Oh gosh, I have saved all my playbills.
Really?
So I'll have to go through and get those out.
I know I saw Young Frankenstein and Shrek with you. I think those are the only 2 I saw that year I was up there for the Rockette trip. So I just remember we ran is the wrong term, but from Little Italy all the way to the theater at Shrek.
Yeah, I remember that too.
And we didn't even decide to go until like an hour before curtain.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm surprised you had time to see all those Broadway shows between lunch with Lin-Manuel and hanging out with Chris Jackson. I mean,
it was difficult, but we fit it into our schedules.
You have to make the most of it, right?
All right. So as we wrap up here, Mary, let's if you have any advice for someone who wants to follow in your footsteps, what would the advice be? A, as a dancer, and B, as somebody who lived on their own in New York City, to how to do it?
Well, for a dancer, first thing I would say was take more ballet classes and never think that you're prepared. Always prepare more. And for anyone that just wanted to move to New York and just go for it, I would just say you'll have no regrets. And just find the right people and the people that will support you. I think about how crazy were mom and dad to agree to let me move to New York on my own at 18.
Mary, they were up there every other week anyway. So
No.
Oh, come on. They were up there more than
they came every year. They came twice. They came pretty much for opening weekend and came for Christmas.
Just twice?
Just twice.
Oh, okay.
I know.
So Mom tells a story where it was Mom and Barbarella, I think on the third or fourth row. And at the end of the show, somebody looks over at Mom and says, all right, one of you is a mom and one of you is the aunt. Which one is it? And because they said, Mom said, well, how did you know? She said, well, she never stopped crying, pointed at Barbarella and your mom, and pointed at Mom and said, you never stopped taking pictures. So they pointed out exactly, said, all right, which one did you know?
Yeah. In fact, your mom and Donna Knight were at my very, very, very first show ever, which was just, killing my mom that she wasn't there. And your mom called mine and held up the phone the whole show. So my mom could just listen to the music and just sort of feel like she was there.
Yeah. This was before FaceTime. So
yeah. In fact, I do remember the very first iPhone came out my second year when I was in New York. Yep. And Mom and Dad and probably even Bill had already bought an iPhone, and they were like, oh, you got to have this phone. It's great. Look at all the things it can do. And I was like, I don't need that phone. And I remember having one of those Motorola, the Razors. Yeah. That's what I had when I was in New York. And so when the iPhone came out, I was slow to buy it. But then eventually, I think by the end of that trip, they convinced me because I could download, an app that had the subway maps. I could find anything that I wanted to find in New York, within seconds on this phone. And so I was like, yeah, I got to have one of those.
Yeah. That's cool. All right, Mary, as we wrap up, Adam, do you have anything else?
Yeah, we have to we can't go 2 weeks without Virgil ask a question.
Oh, that's right. Well, okay, real quick. Mary, we have a segment where Adam's dad asks a question. We have to kind of guess what it is. It's a random trivia.
Okay.
But before we do that, plug the studio. For anybody listening to us in North Alabama, plug North Alabama Dance Studio.
Yes.
Dance Center, sorry.
Oh, yeah, North Alabama Dance Center. Yes, if you are looking for a dance studio, we have 36 years under our belt. Best.
Is it 36 or 37?
Well, we're still in 2020, so we got a little bit more time.
Yeah. Okay. That's true.
Yeah. Quality dance education and in a loving Christian environment. I think we're one of the only studios in town that offers all styles: ballet, tap, jazz, hip hop, modern, point. And we're one of the only studios in town that takes all of our dancers to dance competition. We don't have a competition team where we only take a subset of our studio to compete. We take our entire studio, and we still do great. We still win at competition.
Knock it out of the park.
Yeah, and just a great, loving environment for anybody that walks through the doors.
Both my girls go there. I'll tell you, it's weird. My entire life, I've done backstage for the studio. I've helped, bring props on and off, and I dated my fair share of dancers in high school. But it's weird being a dance dad now, because both of my girls are there. So I'm seeing a different side of the studio than I've ever seen before. So, but it is cool.
So not to knock this, but I heard you name all those different types. You're not the only dance instructor here on the show. Because I used to teach.
Oh.
The one that you didn't mention.
What's that?
You don't teach line dancing at
We don't teach line dancing, unfortunately.
Well, that sounds like a category you're missing, because you have someone right there on the show in Dave Adams that's close to the studio that would probably take those classes. So
I have.
If you offered that in some form of DDP yoga, you would have Dave there 7 nights a week. So
no, not 7 nights a week. Sorry, no. Okay, Mary. Before we do the Virgil ask a question, we've had 2 people saying you're not getting off the hook.
Yes.
Without an embarrassing cousin Dave story. I don't know if you could think of any else really quick.
Oh, so, if you need time, I can edit out the pause if you need time.
Let me think. Embarrassing Dave story.
I don't think there are any.
Well, what or where to choose from? I don't know.
Come now, Dave. Come now, sir.
How about this? We'll do the Virgil ask the question and leave you time to think, Mary.
Okay.
All right, Adam, what we got?
This one's a short one this week.
You weren't ready?
I'm giving can I give the intro to it, please?
Okay. Wait, Emo says Noah was an embarrassing one. No. Nay, Fluffy. I was good at Noah. I was one of Noah's 3 sons, and I was in a ballet.
Wait. No. All right, stop. We're going to extrapolate on that one right there.
The embarrassing story right there that David was in a ballet.
I want to hear Dave in a ballet. Go.
I didn't wear tights, if you're asking that.
Nope. I'm asking you to give the story. We've had Mary expound on her experiences. Now it's your turn to do the same.
Barbara Ellen did its amazing. For what, 4 years running, Mary?
Probably close to 6.
Okay, so 6 years of a ballet about Noah, and he has 3 sons. One of the sons was Japheth 1 year, and I can't remember if they went to Ham or whoever it was when Jonathan did it. But one of the sons had a wife that was with child on the boat. And when I did it, it was Japheth. And it was this really cool, comedic role of how this young man becomes a father, the entire story. And that was my role. And
your role
I got to dance with a cow. Not a real cow, but a person.
No, I'm just getting a picture in my head. This is it. So they made you one of Noah's sons, and they didn't pick the name Ham. Of all people.
No, yeah, it was Japheth.
That's a missed opportunity.
I know.
So also, do you remember any of the lines? Wait, do you remember any of the lines or?
Well, there was no lines. It was not a speaking part.
Oh, you just danced with a cow. And became a father on stage.
If you can find a VHS player, I still have the VHS of me being in Noah.
Well, I think we all know what we're watching next week.
Yeah, I think we need to send that off to Legacy Box or something and make that digital so we can get this going for our Patreons, our siblings.
I do have the VHS of me and Noah. It was 1997, I believe. My mom was actually the role of Mrs. Noah.
97.
Mary, I think you at the time were one of the flood. I don't know, but yes.
My parents do still have their VHS if you'd like for us to plug it in and get it going. We can share it, fire it off.
Sure.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, you're asked for an embarrassing story.
That's not embarrassing. I'm actually proud of it.
Okay. So do you have an embarrassing story then? Have you been able to think of one?
When you put me on the spot. No, but I'm sure when I lay down tonight, I'll be like, should have told that story.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a phone number in a little bit that you can call and you can leave that story.
We do have a voicemail that if you want to call and tell, but yep. I mean, I'm embarrassed.
No, I didn't mean I'm giving out my number, Dave. Yes, thank you. 650 UAB show.
Well, I don't think Dave embarrasses all that easily.
No, I do not.
Not himself.
Right. That's what
the people he's with.
Yeah.
Not himself.
All right, Adam. What's the first question?
All right, here we go. So this one's near and dear to my heart. Can you guess what it's about, Dave? What's my favorite hobby?
Numismatism.
You got it, dude. Here we go.
Hey, guys. That was really, really a great podcast, the last one that you guys had.
Yeah, it was.
So here's the question. Here is the shortest Virgil asked a question to date. With no background story, what is the only coin struck by the U.S. government that is illegal to own? If you have one in your possession, you could be arrested. All right. Thanks, guys. Look forward to the podcast. Bye.
I have no idea.
So it's a 1933 gold double eagle. They were minting them, and in the process of minting them, when FDR and all of his infinite wisdom made owning gold illegal.
What?
And so because they were never issued as currency, they're property of the United States government. and some snuck out from the mint, got snuck out. And the first one was sold in 1944 at a coin shop. And they're actually, if you can come across one, it's technically illegal to have. And of course, you're not going to, but because they were never issued as currency, they're illegal to own.
Well, there you go. You learned something new.
And that makes me want one really badly.
All right, Mary, did you think of anything real quick?
Oh, sorry. I was listening to the story.
She was enthralled by the question.
I was.
Okay. Well, good. There's no stories. Okay, good.
Not this week, at least. But if you do think of one, or if anybody else has any other things they'd like to share with the show, they can call 650-UAB-SHOW. You'll hear a brief message from us, followed by a beep. Beep. Thank you, Dave. And just leave a message after that, and we will play it on the show. We do it 100% of the time. So we look forward to any questions, embarrassing stories about Dave, or anything else you want to talk about. 650-UAB-SHOW. Or you can share any of those embarrassing stories about Dave on our social media accounts. How would they do that, Dave?
So Facebook and Instagram's Unrelated at Birth. We do have the Unrelated at Birth listener group on Facebook. Also on Twitter, we are at Not Related Bros. I am at DAdams419 on all of your socials. Adam is only on Instagram at RunTideRun. You can also check on us at Unrelated at Birth on patreon.com/Unrelated Birth. Also check out our merch on my wife's website, astateaffairboutique.com. Yes, as Mary is showing you, she has some really cool shirts, and she makes them custom in the room right next to my studio. So yeah, and I will go ahead and say, Mary might think of some embarrassing stories that were embarrassing to her to be around me. But I wasn't embarrassed at the time.
That counts, though,
because I don't like she said, I don't embarrass very often. In fact, I like being the, as you say, ham. So there you go.
Yeah,
in fact, I might send you that VHS, and hopefully your parents can put it to a DVD so we can play it.
We'll see what we can do.
I ain't scared.
I ain't scared. There's that VHS, and there's the one of me in Greece.
Yeah, we need to
dig those up out of the archives, because I think those were all around the same time. If you were doing that in 97.
Yep. I was in Greece way back when.
Yeah.
Mary was also in, what was it, 42nd Street? A couple other things, weren't you?
Yeah, Greece, 42nd Street, Wizard of Oz. That's mostly it.
She was the cheerleader in Greece.
Patty.
Patty. That's it.
Yeah.
And played the part perfectly.
Nice. Perfectly played Patty.
Perfectly Patty. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it this week. Mary, thanks for joining us. Like she said, if you are in North Alabama and you have a child that is wanting to learn dance, send them to NADC. You will not regret it. I might be a little biased because I'm related to most everybody up there, but I don't know of anybody better in town. But also, guys, you spend a couple hours with us a week. It still blows my mind. I appreciate it. I mean, Adam and I would be talking like this anyway, and you just sit here and listen to it. So thank you, guys. It can be very very weird to say, but we truly do love you guys. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy, what am I missing? Hanukkah. All right, Adam, take them home.
You hit all of them. Good job, Dave. Yeah, thank you guys for giving us some of your time. We love you, but not as much as Jesus does. And live like these two. Live like Dave. Live like Mary. Dance like nobody's watching, and enjoy yourselves, guys. Be kind to one another. Have a Merry Christmas, and we will catch you next week.
Bye. Well, there you go. That was the recording. Mary, I know that's an hour and a half. I know that you're normally asleep by now.
No, I'm the night owl around here. Well,
that's right.
You can hardly call it a night owl, but I'm the last one up. Last man standing.
Yeah. Joe is usually asleep by 9 o'clock anyway, so
pretty much.
I remember we had y'all over to watch an Alabama LSU game. Oh gosh, it was the game of the century. You know, that 9-6 game, and you and Joe left by halftime, and Joe said, "Yeah, I'm dead tired. I can't stay up for this."
I know.
Anyway, thank you for hanging out with us, Mary.
Of course.
Yeah,
and Adam, it was nice to meet you officially.
You too.
Yeah.
Enjoyed having you on.
Yeah, we'll post it tomorrow. So if you want to, do something and share it or whatever, you can.
Okay. And I'll just get your mic back to you somehow soon.
Yeah, that works. I mean, well, next week. Well, I'll see you next week, definitely. But
oh yeah, Christmas.
Yeah, Ellie doesn't have dance next week. I think.
Well, I'll see Amanda or whoever's at Cookie Day Friday.
Yeah, and Ann Harper will be at the studio tomorrow. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. So I'll try to get it to Amanda tomorrow.
Okay.
That way I just won't forget.
Okay.
All right.
Amanda says Friday. I guess that's Cookie Day is Friday.
Yes.
Cookie Day.
Yes. So we forgot to talk about our cookie judging thing. So every year, and we'll post this in the group. I probably won't do there because I'll be working. But every year, our family does Cookie Day, and everybody judges like what the best cookie is. And I think Mary usually wins, right?
I've been defeated a lot recently.
Really?
Probably because ever since having children, I'm tending to their cookies and not so much decorating on my own.
Well,
I don't know. I had a good long winning streak, but no, not here lately.
And now it's Callie that wins. Actually, it was Callie that won last year, wasn't it?
I don't even remember.
Oh, well.
Put it out of her
I need to study this
Yeah.
week and come prepared.
Yes, definitely. All right. So, hey, I forgot to mention this, by the way. I told John Rogers I would read an ad read for him because he is doing a big thing. If he gets 2 more people to book with him by the end of the year, he'll draw for $100.
Oh, wow.
So go to John Rogers and book you some trips.
Come on. All right. Time out. If you're going to do an ad read, man, come on. Go to John Rogers.
Fine.
At least put the website out there. Come on.
I will. Here, I'm going to read what he sent me. Are you ready to create some memories and live a story worth telling?
No, time out. Again, radio voice. Go all out. Come on, man. We have a Rockette on the show. Show her how it's done.
Start spreading the news.
Oh, never mind.
All right, here we go. I'm going to read it. You ready? Ready? John Rogers, Travelmation. Are you ready to create some memories and live a story worth telling? 2020 has been a crazy year, and many travel dreams, have been canceled and rescheduled, as in Mary Catherine's first Disney trip. If you're looking to celebrate something special or take a break and create some amazing memories without the stress and hassles of all the planning, John Rogers would love to serve you. Do you love the planning and excitement of dreaming about the next travel destination? John can still help. You will pay no extra cost for his travel services and pay the same price to your travel destination that if you book your trip and do the legwork yourself. He works with singles, couples, families, and groups of all types. So whether you want to do Walt Disney World for the 50th anniversary or anything you want, contact John today. P.S. If you help him reach his goal of booking 20 more trips in 2020 between the months of November and December for future travel, he will do a live drawing for a $50 gift card on January 1st for everyone that has paid deposit on their trips. If you reach 30 trips, he will double it to 100. Facebook.com/Travelmation John R.
What? John Rogers fun. That's all I had stuck in my head. He's like a jingle, like John Rogers fun. Anyway.
All right. Mary, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Mary. Thank you. I told you we were going to go an hour and a half. I warned you.
Yeah, but you know what? That went by really fast.
Yeah, it was good.
When I looked at the clock, I was like, wait, what?
Joe's probably already asleep on the couch.
Oh, no, he's in bed.
Hey, John.
5 people have canceled. We're going backwards. Let's get off the air before we ruin this whole business, right?
All right. Good night, fellas.
Bye,
Good
Mary.
night,
See
Mary. Well, all right. Hey, we got hold up.
You click the right button.
I click the right button. That's better.
I can't do it.
No. Man.
Man.
Imagine having Dave do the advertisements for the dance studio. I should.
Have you ever wanted to plie?
Have you ever wanted to sashay?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Sassy yourself on down. The corner
at the North Alabama Dance Studio, now introducing line dancing lessons. Come learn the tush push from the best teachers in the land.
Dance Center. NADC, not NADS.
What did I say?
You said studio.
Oh, whatever. It's not my family. I'm totally kidding.
The corner of John's and Oakwood in Huntsville, Alabama. Right catty corner to Westminster Christian Academy and across the street from the Publix.
Turn left at the fork. Follow down about 3 blocks till you pass the stump on the side of the road. If you get to the NASA Rocket Center, you done gone too far.
You done missed it.
Have you seen, you know about Go to Church or the Devil Will Get You, right?
Oh, dude, come on.
Yeah, so that's right outside of my hometown, right?
Yeah.
They are making Christmas ornaments now of that billboard, and I am so wanting one of those.
I need it.
I saw that the other day.
I need it.
So the Bama game's stressful. We are losing to Furman, Dave.
Yep. Down by 1 with 2 minutes left.
Downward trajectory.
Well, you know. Brian said stop. I don't. Why did he say stop? Does he not like the golden voice of the South?
That's a great question. I still want to know what that comment from Bill Smart was about. I was given the most Turkish lira.
So he made
that?
He made the turkey this year for Thanksgiving.
Okay. What's a most Turkish lira?
I don't know. Bill is Bill.
Well, everybody's everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Bill is awesome. Your mom
said, say, Brian, I'm getting my money's worth.
Hey,
well, it was free, so
John,
you know.
I don't need this anymore. I'll be right back. Vamp at him.
Why is this your post show?
Yes, it is.
Standard trip to the facilities. Nice. Well,
yes.
Yeah, so that was fun, everybody. Let me try to think of something to talk about to fill the time because we've already been doing this for an hour and a half. So, John, saying that if you're still here, John, I want to know in the comments. I think I understood it's 20 more trips or 2 more trips because I heard both. So I want to know how many. I want to clarify that for everybody, whoever's still watching. So put that in there. And yeah, Carrie, I get it. Furman's the best team in their conference, and it'll be a tournament team. But still, this is supposed to be the year. This was going to be the one where we start balling oats, and instead we're losing again at home. But, you know, that's why I like football and tolerate basketball. But what was that? Did you just speak from the other room, Dave? Holler if you can hear me, Dave. You guys can hear him too. Sensitive mic, huh? That's awesome. Well, you might want to shut it. Oh, man.
Hey, we're tied now.
Hot dog.
Hot dog, hot dog, hot diggity dog. We got it. Hot dog, hot problem solved. All right,
so
there
it says cute hat on the Stormtrooper too. So 2 more trips for 50. 12 more, he'll double it. Wait, what is this?
Must be well ahead.
Well, he's on cable.
Yep.
What is this?
Yes. So Jeffrey did send us. Remember last week, it was last week. No, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? It was last week. The Christmas trivia that
was 2 weeks ago. Oh, yeah. Because last week was the WW.
Yeah, that was 2 weeks ago. So yes, we will do that probably the week after Christmas. Next week we are going to have our international flavor, and we will have our resident Brit.
It's exciting.
Ben Harris on to talk about how Christmas is different in jolly old England.
Jolly old England.
Pip, pip, cheerio.
Pip, pip, cheerio and all that.
Can I talk with a British accent all week?
Only if you're not going to do Cockney all week. If you try to do Cockney all week, that's going to get real old real fast.
Or during the show.
You sound like a young Michael Caine there.
Yeah. Although
I suppose that's what I'm going to go take care of now.
I can go Scottish if you want me to.
Stick with the other one, please. Stick with the other one.
Hey, Dr. Even, I make you a deal. You get your baby.
I still cannot believe that you missed that opportunity of who throws a shoe.
Who throws a shoe? Honestly.
Yeah, that Florida LSU game, man.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back,
Get
baby back.
in my belly. Oh gosh.
Chili's baby back rib.
Barbecue sauce.
Chili's baby back rib. Barbecue sauce.
Go, Bobby. Hey, stop clicking the button. Stop clicking it. Mary got off just in the nick of time, man. Holy cow.
Oh, see, I don't embarrass very easily, do I? Oh, John, I read an ad read for you, and you mess with me, man. I see how it is. I see how it is, sir.
Oh man.
I mean, just to show you how mad I am, I'm going to post your ad read on the Facebook group.
And don't you ever ask me to do an ad read again, because I'll do it. And it's free too.
Hey, I did forget to mention this. And we need to make sure that this is live somehow. Oh, hey, where's Twix?
Twix is asleep in the bathroom.
Okay. We are in the Facebook group 235. Where are we at now? 234.
Oh, we went down one because of that ad read.
No, we were at 233 and we just went up one. By the end of the year, so we need 15. I want 250 by the end of the year.
Okay. So one person a day.
One person a day. For the person that adds the 250th person.
Invites. Because the 250th person would add themselves.
Okay. For the person that invites the 250th person and the 250th person, we'll get you a t-shirt.
A unrelated at birth t-shirt or a t-shirt of your choice from a State Affair boutique? What are they playing for, Bob? Tell them what they win, Bob.
I would prefer a unrelated at birth t-shirt.
Okay.
But Carrie is technically a crew and admin. But if you just refuse to wear a UAB shirt, we'll talk about something. Something from the State Fair boutique. Hey, we won.
Why does this sound like an ASPCA? Do you know any struggling podcasters that are trying to grow their audience? For less than 38 cents a day, you could help these two podcasters grow their audience, and we'll send you this free t-shirt. This shirt says, this t-shirt helps save podcast lives. And once we hit 250, Dave will stop singing like Sarah McLachlan.
Oh, there you go. Okay. If we hit 250 by the end of the year, I will not sing on the podcast for the entire month of January. If we hit 250 by the end of the year, I will not sing for the entire month of January.
Hang on real quick. I'm going to go make 15 burner accounts. I'll be right back.
Hold up. No. Nay, Fluffy. Nay, Fluffy.
Wait, who is this Bill? Who is John Johnson? Come on, man.
John Jingleheimer Schmidt.
They all have a sunrise as their profile picture. What is that?
If we hit 750 by the end of 2021,
yeah,
I'll go a whole 3 months without singing on the podcast.
Wow. What if we hit 750 by the end of the year? I'll never sing again.
Okay. Yeah. If we can hit 500 people in the next 15 days, I will never sing again on the show.
Okay, hang on, Carrie. He's talking about our fantasy football league and said, will you put your scrubs in this week? I need a big win. All right, if you go into the fantasy app, Carrie Loney, and you look, I lost and only scored 66 points this week with my best people. How about I just leave my roster alone and just hand you a win? And my thing's blurry again. Why is it blurry again? Come on.
I don't know. Whoa.
There we go.
Okay. Jeffrey Martin, University of Alabama, Birmingham wouldn't be the worst shirt I've gotten. Wrong UAB, Jeffrey Martin. But seriously, share the group with your friends. Share the podcast with your friends. Give us a rating on iTunes or however, most people listen on iTunes, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So right now we're sitting at 36 ratings. Let's bump that to 50.
If we get that to 50, what will you do, Dave?
We'll think of something.
You make 14 iTunes burner accounts, man. Here we go.
We'll think of something.
I'm actually looking. How do most people? This is riveting, I know, for everybody. But
we're on Facebook. This is Facebook time.
Let's see. 34% or 35% Podbean, 20% Apple.
Really?
It's actually Podbean. Yeah.
Huh. So I guess since most people are quarantined and working from home,
I guess
play it from their computer. Brian, BK does Spotify.
Okay, yeah, I see that one on there.
By the way, BK, we found a perfect Christmas ornament for you. It was a
hang on, let me find it.
Yeah. And we might have to send it to you as a gift from the old sideline warning.
Let's see, it's this one right here. Let me pull it up and share my screen. I wish it lit up, but it doesn't.
Yeah, considering what we call the city of Cleveland.
It is that one right there. A good old dumpster fire.
Oh, BK.
No. Can I throw something out
I
there?
listen on Stitcher when I miss Facebook Live. Okay. Thank you, Brad. What were you going to say, Adam?
I was just going to say, when I was looking for it originally, what first popped up was Pinterest. I hate Pinterest. Can I just say, I was looking up something on Google, and it had a link to Pinterest, and it had a description of the thing, and had like a little review. I clicked on that link, and Pinterest just shows a picture. Huh. How do you see? If anybody out there knows anything about Pinterest, I need to know how to use that, because I always find what I'm looking for and can never find out the information for it. So please, somebody help me out. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. Carrie Loney, no lie, this week was good show tonight. Super liked the whole Rockette story and all. Super unique.
There you go.
Hey, every now and then I pull out some good guests, and it just happened that this one was my cousin. So
can I just say, Dave, I'm looking through the stats.
Yeah.
Our 5th most listened to country this month, and it's only 3, but still, is Algeria.
Really?
Someone in Africa is digging the unrelated at birth, man.
I'm liking it. And wait, so 3 in Algeria. So we've had 3 episodes this week or this month.
Yeah. 5 in Russia, 5 downloads in Russia, 7 in the UK, 10 in Canada. We know who those guys are.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. John Rogers just booked number 19. One more for the 50. Uh-oh.
Dollar bills, y'all.
There was a real nice dumpster fire. Yep, you're right. Yep. Let's see. Now, that's right. Carrie was a professional mascot.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. When Carrie is house sitting for me, I don't know if it's going to be a Tuesday night, though. I might still be here on a Tuesday night. No, actually, I'm going to leave that Tuesday night. So maybe on the 29th.
Yeah.
You and Carrie can do an unrelated at birth.
So
here.
Wait, Dave's not going to be here?
Yeah.
You just said earlier we have 2 shows left.
In the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have 2 shows left.
Unrelated at birth has 2 shows left.
No, but you're not going to. I didn't know you weren't going to be here.
I told you that. We talked about this 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but I was too busy kicking your butt to really listen.
Okay. Carrie's probably going to do the show when I'm not here.
Okay.
Because he's house sitting for me and Max.
I guess I'm all right with that.
I mean,
how do you house sit? Does your house need to go for a walk?
Well, Max might. He's going to dog sit.
There you go.
Okay, is that better?
It's the hackers who hacked the Justice Department. Yeah, somebody's in Russia right now. These two guys, they're hilarious.
They're unrelated, but yet they're brothers.
How does this work? Only in America. I love America. You remember that guy from the 80s? I love America. That's how old we are. Speaking of old, I went a couple of weeks ago to pick something up from Best Buy, and they brought it out to the car, and we were sliding into the back seat, and the guy was like, "Yeah, man, I tell you, it's a good thing that this wasn't one of those 2000. It was a TV, but it's a good thing it wasn't one of those 2005 or whenever TVs. It was like 18-year-old kid, right? Whenever TVs were really big, like in 2005 or whatever, that would have been really hard to fit in your back seat."
Oh my gosh!
And I went back to when I moved down here in 2003, and I had the projection TV.
Yep.
It took up like half of the living room.
Yep.
It's tall and it's wide, you know. I was like, "Yeah, dude, if you only knew, man. If you only knew." He's like, "Yeah, you reckon what was it, 2005 when TV?"
Carrie's answering how he house sits, takes it back and forth across the road, lets it pee on other foundations.
Good, because you don't want your own foundation getting wet. That's perfect.
That's why I have a sump pump right next to my office here.
Yeah, Yakov Smirnov. That was his name. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Yakov Smirnov. I love America.
All the brothers in the theme song figured the box.
Why is brother? Why is not comrade?
Yeah.
Comrades, but not by birth. That's it. Okay, so we were talking the other day about how could we redo the theme song. Maybe we need like a Eastern European Russian block.
Comrades, but not by birth. Family, but not by DNA.
Dave and Adam are two of a kind, but not two individual. They in a communist way. You know, something like that. I am so sorry for the 5 people that are listening in Russia.
8.
If you're watching on Facebook.
There's 8 watching right now.
I'm talking about if any of them are the ones in Russia that have taken time out of their day to listen to us. I'm sorry that we're trying to brand you a certain way. And I mean, we're Americans.
Dos Vidanya.
Das Vidanya. There you go.
What does that mean?
That's like cheers.
Das Vidanya.
Dos Vidanya is goodbye.
Okay. All I know about Russia right now is if I can change and you can change, we all can change. You're Adrian. I did it. Rocky 4. Rocky 4.
So really all you know about Russia is break him.
Oh, no. I must break him. I must break him. If he dies, he dies.
He dies. Yeah. Nice.
All right, y'all. Well, that's I think we've taken up time in your evening.
Yeah. I got to get editing, man.
Yeah. No, this isn't much. This is just boom. Here we go.
It's true.
Mary did well.
It's just boom. Here we go. That's the name of this week's episode. Not really.
New York at Christmas. There you go.
I've got you. Don't worry. We didn't really talk that though.
But one of the songs in the show is New York at Christmas. What a time.
I'm actually going to call it Life as a Rockette. I'm actually going to label it Life as a Rockette so that everybody can listen, thinking they're going to listen to your stories of your life as a Rockette.
Well, no, they know I had MK on this week.
Not everybody's part of your family, Dave.
Well, a lot of my family listened. I mean,
that is true.
Tonight, yeah, we had Meemaw. We had my Uncle Steve on here. We had Bill. I mean, how often do we get Meemaw commenting on the show tonight?
Not that often. Yeah, that was special.
This was special. I mean, come on now.
So as we leave, we leave you guys with, as Dr. Doofenshmirtz said, Dos Vidanyas. That's 2 Vidanyas. That was horrible, but there you go.
Carrie, I thought we were all siblings. Well, you are. We are.
Only if you go to www.patreon.com.
Yeah. Carrie is not a sibling yet.
Then he's not doing the show, Dave.
Gotta talk to him about that. All right. Guys, we love y'all. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.